Hello, welcome to the Live to 110 podcast. My name is Wendy Myers, and you can find me on live to110.com. Today we have Bryan Richards on the podcast. He is the maker of Sauna Space or Pocket Saunas, and I have these stocked on the Live to 110 store. I think they are the best near-infrared saunas available, and we're going to be talking about the difference between near and far infrared saunas and the many benefits of near infrared sauna over and above the far infrared sauna. A lot of people are confused by this. And we're going to talk about how the near infrared saunas can help you live longer, can help you lose weight, reduce cellulite. So many benefits of near infrared saunas. You'll be blown away. Please keep in mind that this podcast is not intended to diagnose or treat any disease or health condition and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Please consult your healthcare practitioner before engaging in any treatment that we suggest today on the show. And definitely go check out the near infrared saunas on the Live to 110 store. It's at store.live to110.com. You'll see all of the saunas from Saunas Space Saunas on the website. They've got popular saunas. They have got, there's pine saunas, there's 3 bulb and 4 bulb saunas. Lots of accessories for the saunas. It's the sauna that I use, and I use it almost every day, probably about 4 to 5 days a week. 7 days a week on a really good week. I'm really feeling motivated, but I cannot recommend these saunas enough, and that's why I carry them in the Live to 110 store. They are Wendy approved. And you also need to mineralize your body. When you're using a sauna, you do lose some minerals. You're sweating, getting rid of a lot of sodium and other very important minerals. So I think it's very important while you're in a sauna and after sauna use to drink some water with Anderson's mineral drops. These drops contain about 84 trace minerals, including magnesium and sodium and potassium. And they're what I put in my water. I put the Anderson's mineral drops in my water. I'm drinking it right now. And it's something I recommend to all of my clients. I think it's a wonderful way to remineralize your body after a sauna, and because of our very nutrient deficient soil supply. Our food is grown on very nutrient deficient soil, and it's incredibly important to remineralize your body, and using Anderson's trace mineral drops is one of the great ways to do that. Our guest today is Bryan Richards. Bryan studied chemistry at Montana State University, and he discovered sauna use when he started using one to heal his own health issues and turn his health around. And he was dismayed that there were not more near-infrared sauna lamps available. There was no products available at the time, nothing that was quality or really that was machine built, so to speak, and very high quality. So, at the time, there was only you only had the options of building it yourself, or you had to buy an expensive far infrared sauna, or you had to use a Swedish or Finnish, the typical dry hot or wet hot saunas that are available. And these are not nearly as effective. So he set about building his own machines and had built his factory from the ground up, and thus Saunas Space Saunas were born.
Well, Bryan, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Wendy.
Well, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and how you got started manufacturing saunas?
Well, I built my own near-infrared lamp sauna, maybe 7 years ago now, as a recommendation as part of a healing program that eventually was. I had such a positive experience from that it got me thinking about saunas in general. I ended up building my own near-infrared lamp sauna back then because there wasn't really anybody you could buy it from in terms of a professional consumer grade product. And again, I had such a great experience, and in combination with other influences, and I was also asked by Dr. Wilson at some point to start making them, and I have some background in handiwork type stuff, and I started making them a very bricolage version out of my house. And that got me thinking about the product itself. There is no consumer grade product. There is nothing that's classy and easy to use and is really functional and elegant. And it started a product development process that, again, started in my house, and many years later now is here at the shop, and is eventually it became Sauna Space and the Pocket Sauna, and we have now a proper shop and 4 full-time employees, and some really cool production infrastructure, and we're making the whole thing right here in Missouri, in the USA. And that's basically how I got started. And it was just mind blowing to me how powerful the sauna therapy was for some of the health issues I had. I don't want to necessarily go into all of them, but I did have some skin issues, and I had some mind racing issues, and some insomnia issues. And I noticed there was a noticeable improvement in the complaints I had. Very quickly, within weeks of doing frequent sauna, near-infrared lamp sauna therapy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hear that from every client that starts using a near infrared sauna, that they have so many improvements. I mean, they'll have detox symptoms as well. Naturally, when you get rid of heavy metals and chemicals from your body and they're exiting the body. But every person that has started using a near infrared sauna, they get completely addicted to it because they feel so good after using them.
Yeah, and it's something that's specific to near infrared lamp. There's a few special aspects of near infrared lamp saunas. Well, why did I build a near infrared lamp sauna and not just a wet sauna? There's people are worried about EMFs nowadays. Near infrared lamp saunas are, by the nature of the technology, very low EMF. But mostly it's about this near infrared light. It has these unique cellular healing and wound healing properties that are via direct stimulation of the light. It's not just the heating effect. We actually have these photoreceptors, these cellular receptors in many cells of our body that directly absorb near infrared light, and only near infrared. So they've evolved to absorb specific wavelengths of near infrared light, and upon absorption, that promotes all these really amazing cellular healing mechanisms of processing the cells. And I can go on and on, but that's a benefit that people call in general kind of the phototherapeutic benefits of near infrared lamp sauna therapy, and you only get that from near infrared light. You don't get that from mid or the far infrared saunas. That is the typical sauna product on the market. What most people think of as an infrared sauna is actually a far infrared sauna. And that also has problems with they tend to be high EMF in their typical construction, but mostly it's that it doesn't provide near infrared, so you're getting the same effect you're getting in a wet sauna. It's not as efficient of a sauna. Number one, and ultimately it's not as effective because of all these factors. But again, that near infrared light, it's the special, it's the therapeutic band of the sunlight, and yet at the same time it's really safe because the near infrared lamp doesn't produce any ionizing radiation, so you don't have to worry about the UV aspects of sunlight that it becomes problematic when you have high doses of it. So it's a very safe sauna product in terms of the light and the usage, especially the typical usage, which is a rotation in front of the lamps for a set period of time. It is really special. That's why I got into it. I realized, well, this is it. This is the sauna, but most of the saunas out there are really unaffordable. Let's be honest. They're a few $1,000s. Many people, that's a great investment, and that's valid for them, and they're able to invest it. But a lot of people can't. So if you don't have the ability to build it yourself, there just was no option. So I stepped into this, and I decided, let's see if we can make something work that's quality build, and it looks good, and it's functional and easy to set up, and it does what it's supposed to, and still needs to be around $1,000 or less. And we actually offer, our most modest pocket sauna configuration is under $700.
Yeah, and it's amazing. The quality is so beautiful. I mean, the construction is gorgeous. I mean, you said that you have laser cutters in your manufacturing facility to manufacture the saunas.
Yeah, we have in particular this very special robotic milling machine that allows us to make a really unique design that's 100% solid wood. It doesn't involve any plywood or any any hardware, or it has hardware, but it's bolted together. There's no nails or screws. It's a very solid, warp-free design that really will last someone a lifetime if they take care of it. Use it indoors, and that's been the focus of all of it. How do we keep plastic out of the sauna? How do we only use untreated natural materials? So our frames and our light panels are all solid, untreated wood. In particular, poplar is what most people buy, and we offer that particularly because it's a hypoallergenic wood.
Yeah, a lot of saunas can use
Yeah.
toxic materials that can off gas and kind of defeat the whole purpose of using a sauna, which is to detox. Talk about that, about how a lot of saunas, especially the ones coming from China, can have glues and woods that are, not ideal for sauna use.
Yeah, I mean, well, you have this issue of off-gassing. When you heat a material, it off-gasses little molecules, little microparticles of what it's made of. If you're talking about natural materials like wood and cotton, it's outgassing wood oils. That's the smell you smell when you smell wood. Those are natural chemicals, and they're normally not really offensive to most people. But if you talk about plastics, it's a totally different world. You have all these different petrochemicals in plastics that do outgas upon being exposed to heat, and a lot of them are well known to be problematic. At the very least, most petrochemicals are estrogenic, so they mimic estrogen, and they act like estrogen in the body. So it's basically a big hormone dose that everybody's getting from all this exposure, all these plastics all around. So coming back to near infrared or to solid construction in general, you don't want to use petrochemical products. That's both treatments and finishes and paints and such, but also plywoods and glues and petrochemical glues and so forth. So you have most of these saunas that are the far infrared type of sauna coming from mostly China. They very typically have urea and formaldehyde in the glues. They're not using non-toxic glues, and they have plywood too, plywood is just basically full of glue. And so you have these non-ideal materials, and why are they using that? Because it's cheap.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I
you
get
can build a
emails.
wood
I
box
get emails
sauna.
from I get
I
emails
mean,
from China every
you
single
look at
day.
some of the products, for example, on Amazon.com, and you think, well, how, me personally, I know what it takes to build something of quality that's lasting, that's heirloom quality, and it's pretty unbelievable what they're offering. But then you start to look at it, you're like, well, okay, it's not solid wood, it's plywood, it's junk.
Yeah.
Beyond that, they have people look at some of the most affordable sauna products on Amazon are these sauna suits.
Yeah.
They're really interesting on the face of them, but then you start to look at it and you realize this is a trash bag that you're enclosing around your body, and then you're heating it up and you're exposing yourself to all the petrochemicals that are inherently in that plastic. And in addition to that, it's far infrared, but I guess it has an appeal to people because it's such a low price point. But it's really you're getting what you pay for in that sense. What we offer, what Sauna Space offers is the most effective type of sauna with the phototherapeutic benefits of near infrared light, which everybody's coming to now. People are buying our light panels, they're using it to convert their traditional saunas and their far infrared saunas to the near infrared advantage. So you get all that, and you get the reliability and the worry-free experience of American build quality, and American manufacturing, American customer support.
Yeah.
For example, we offer 45-day money-back guarantee. It's a really long time to try out the product, and we stand behind that because very few people actually return it. People they get it and they really love it. It's effective, it's elegant, and also I should say, I guess we're talking a lot about the design, is the not just the construction quality but the usability of it. People that are physically infirm, that are not necessarily strong, have no problem setting this up. Really, almost everyone can set it up on their own without any tools, in about 10 minutes or less. It really is easy to set up. The whole sauna is only about 40 pounds fully assembled. And the stool adds a little more, but each component is lightweight and manageable. So that makes it both affordable to ship, but also it brings a modern convenience to the sauna product. You can take it with you if you move apartments. If you have to remodel your room, you can break it down. You're not stuck with this 300-pound box that you had to pay for white glove treatment in the beginning just to get it installed in your house, and you needed a friend in an hour of your time. This is something that, we even have customers that are who are traveling salesmen, and they bring their pocket sauna with them and set it up in their hotel room for 6 days while they're, on a business trip. So it really has a convenience to it that people don't normally associate with saunas.
Yeah, I love that it's a pocket sauna. I actually looked on your website a couple of years ago when I was kind of researching saunas a bit, and I love that you can just fit it in a corner, and so you can use it. And if you have a small apartment, if you have a small space.
Yeah, I mean it's a little bit bigger than those plastic sauna suits they sell, on Amazon, but it also has this really wonderful feng shui inside because it is this enclosed sauna space, and that's part of why we call ourselves sauna space, because it is. You have to have that atmosphere inside to be able to relax and dedicate to your therapy and to your healing experience. And there's something really special about being enclosed in an area, but we've also tried to optimize the volume, as you say, so it's got kind of a different trapezoidal shape to it, where you can just tuck it into the corner of your room. Very much so. Even people who have small apartments, which everybody has, in New York and some of the bigger cities, they're buying our product and they're using it very successfully in their small apartment. It just barely fits, but it does. And that is also a functional difference. Even if you can't afford it, if you can't fit it, then it's not a product for you.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the benefits of saunas. Why would somebody want to put themselves through this and sit in a sauna for 30 minutes a day?
Sauna therapy, it's a very time tested um, way to maintain your health really throughout your life. Technically, it's called hyperthermic therapy. So it's heating therapy. You're trying to promote increased blood flow to the tissues and relax the nervous system into a parasympathetic state. Get yourself out of fight or flight, what's called sympathetic dominance, so that your body begins to use its energy and its blood flow and shunt it into use in the organs of elimination, and both at the cellular level and the tissue level, so the body has a chance to rest and repair itself. Sauna heat happens to promote that. So if you expose yourself to heat and do hyperthermic therapy, you get this. You promote this relaxation, and you have this healing, that you go into this maintenance mode basically. So you have that with all forms of hyperthermic therapy, including sitting in a hot pool, in a hot springs, or also in a wet sauna. Um, the difference is, as far as our sauna and as far as near infrared lamp sauna, is that near infrared light. So you're getting all these benefits of sauna therapy and hyperthermic therapy, but then you're getting the additional phototherapy benefits that are uniquely associated with near infrared light. Beyond that, it's also, people find that the near infrared lamp sauna experience is more tolerable. It's a dry atmosphere. It's not humid like a wet sauna. So, and also the ambient air temperature is much lower. It's only about 110 to 120 degrees. So most people find that much more tolerable, especially people who are prone to fainting or have low blood pressure issues. So again, it just makes it a more accessible product to more people. It gives more access to sauna therapy, and that's really what we were founded on. That's what we're all about. We're not just about offering the best price point. We're about giving a product that people can use on their own. This is 2015. Everybody has their own phone, their own car, their own everything. They want to feel independent. They don't want to have to rely on someone else to do things, especially for a product, for a device that they have. And this is that. This is the sauna that you can have at your home. You can use in your home. You don't have to go to a spa, and you don't need anybody else to help you with it.
Yeah. Yeah, and what I love about these is that they are, the temperature doesn't have to be so hot, because when I go into a regular sauna, it's almost 200 degrees. I mean, I can only stay in it about 15 minutes. The far infrared sauna, they get very, very hot, but because they have a thermostat, the far infrared rays can turn off once it reaches a certain temperature. So it's at some point you can have a few minutes where you're not even getting the far infrared, from what I understand. And they're also very, very hot. But I like the near infrared. They're not as hot, and cancer patients and people that are very ill that desperately need to use a sauna are able to use it.
Right, exactly. Especially for that population that has those physical infirmities. This is a much more accessible way to engage in sauna therapy, and it's very easy to control it. You know, very easy to control the temperature. In our sauna, you can open the doors, and there's side loops that catch the door strap to keep the door open. You can use one cover instead of the dual layer cover if you're, very heat sensitive, and you're having, you're being challenged initially and acclimating yourself to the sauna therapy. And this is something that's it's known to be very typical with sauna therapy experience in general. Some people who are tend to be, I guess, more toxic, are resistant to the sauna therapy. Their body doesn't want to change, and that's a concept in biochemistry called homeostasis, where the body wants to stay wherever it is. It doesn't want to change, and so when it's in a toxic state, you really have to work to promote change and detoxification, and then the sauna does that. The near infrared sauna, it does that, absolutely. But certainly some, people who, have low blood pressure, people who have, serious conditions like cancer, or things of that nature, this is the best product for them. It's the most tolerable sauna experience out there.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about the Journal of American Medical Association study. There was a Finnish study that's really hot in the blogosphere right now, and it talks about some of the benefits of infrared saunas. Can you discuss that a little bit?
Yeah, it just came out in JAMA. Everybody is talking about it. It's a really interesting study. It's a long-term, like a 20-year or more study on middle-aged Finnish males. And basically the study concludes that the individuals who are engaging in frequent sauna therapy, and particularly like four or 5 days a week, versus individuals who are not doing sauna therapy at all, are living twice as long, or in other words, are having half the mortality rates of the folks that are not doing sauna therapy, and not just mortality, but also incidence of heart attack. And basically, it's a very obvious life extension tool. And this is, regardless of what the exact cellular mechanism is, the folks that were doing sauna therapy are living longer than the folks who aren't. And in fact, between the folks that do sauna therapy 2 days a week and those that do 6 or 7 days a week, they're proportionally living longer. So the more you do sauna each week, the longer you do sauna, typically the longer you're going to live and the more healthier you're going to be during your life. And I think that's really powerful. Really amazing. Sauna therapy, again, it's this ancient technology. It's this ancient approach to healing, but people still are very unaware of how powerful it is. So that's great that study came out, and some of the mainstream media folks picked up on it, because if more people knew how powerful sauna therapy was and what a great tool is to maintain your health, I think all of us would be a lot more healthy, be living happier, healthier lives.
Yeah, I do think it's an essential component to living to 110. You have to detox heavy metals and chemicals from your body in order to be healthy. And I love that the saunas stimulate, human growth hormone and heat shock proteins and all kinds of things that can stimulate your immune system and just increase your health in general. And that's why I have people like yourself on the podcast and write so many articles about infrared saunas. They are so important and so key in our toxic modern world.
Yeah, and that's the operative phrase, the toxic modern world. This is the modern age of petrochemicals. It is the fundamental difference, I think, in terms of our environment and the environmental stressors we're exposed to here nowadays. That's the fundamental difference between us and 100 years ago, and humanity's entire experience up till about 100 years ago are all these petrochemicals that are around. They're never around, and everybody. You hear about how many new thousands of petrochemicals are synthesized and brought into production each year, and absolutely, it's this massive hormonal and chemical influence on our lives that stresses us out in so many ways. It's in our food containers, it's in our water, it's in our medicines. Most of our conventional medical pharmaceutical drugs are petrochemicals. They're made from petrochemical sources. So we live in a very toxic world, and unlike some of the Eastern cultures here in America, I think we've lost a little bit the respect for for frequent for taking care of yourself frequently. Spending time and money and investing in your health. Going to the spa each week, or doing a sauna therapy each day, cooking your own food. All these ways that you can minimize your exposure to the toxins, and the toxins that you have, you need to be able to detox them somehow. And absolutely, sauna therapy there is no better way than sauna therapy, and the best way and the most effective way is to have it in your house. That's very important. If you have to go somewhere and you can't do it several times a week, it's just not as effective. But if you have it in your house and you have that tool to heal and detox, and have it be available to you whenever you want, that's really, I think that's a life-changing experience for a lot of people. And we're a new company, we're a small company, but certainly the feedback we've had in our time here producing saunas has been just overwhelming. People just are so happy, and it's not even our build quality and our really cool design and our functionality, but it's the accessibility that it provides them, and people get in there and they're having it at home and they're doing sauna therapy every day and they're having this wonderful healing experience, and it's just so heartwarming to hear that from people. When we get calls, I get calls like that every time. I usually answer the phones here in the morning, and we get calls from people that are so incredibly thankful. And all we do is build saunas.
Yeah, I know, it's amazing the health conditions that you can heal with saunas. A lot of my clients have thyroid and adrenal issues, and one of the reasons they do is because of heavy metals and toxins that are inside these glands that are interfering in their function. For instance, when people have adrenal fatigue, when they have toxins and metals in their adrenal glands and in their body, the adrenal glands will rev up trying to push these metals out of their body, and that will induce adrenal fatigue. And I think it's one of the major causes, major underlying causes of adrenal fatigue. Additionally, with the thyroid, people have fluoride and chlorine and bromide in their thyroid, and that prevents the uptake of iodine. And you have to get these chemicals out of your body if you ever have any hopes of healing your thyroid. So I think a lot of people that are taking supplements and trying to sleep more and change their lifestyle and diet to try to improve their health, you have to add the detoxification component to your health regimen in order to heal and reverse disease. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. There is an increased awareness in a healthy lifestyle. People are recognizing the issue of the toxins and the toxicities that we have in modern life and our exposure to that. But yeah, you hit it on the head. People don't appreciate that the second half of it. It's not just ingesting and bringing in the nutrients and sleeping more, or it's also getting rid of the junk that you have in your body. And you have a toxic load in your body that you've accumulated for throughout your life, including the time you were in the womb. That's very typical that the firstborn child is exposed to the most toxic load of the mother, and the fetus actually acts as like a heat sink for the toxins. It absorbs the toxins. That's why a lot of pregnant mothers they have a feeling of exuberance during their pregnancy, and there's examples of people who suffer from rheumatoid arthritis, and all their rheumatoid arthritis symptoms go away during their pregnancy, and then they come back afterwards. That's interesting. Well, yeah, I mean, totally. We're totally overloaded with toxins, and the detoxification aspect is crucial. And it's not just the toxic metals. It's what you said, that we're in adrenal burnout. That's because we're in sympathetic dominance. You wake up in the morning and you're relaxed maybe for a few minutes or a few moments, or maybe even half an hour. You're in what's called a parasympathetic nervous state. So your body's relaxed. It's not in the fight or flight state of sympathetic dominance. Once you begin to interact with the modern life and day and the stressors and somebody's yelling about this and you're late to work, your body goes into sympathetic dominance. And for modern the modern lifestyle, typically people are in sympathetic dominance all day. and we're evolutionarily designed to get back into parasympathetic so your body can rest and heal and repair. Unfortunately, because people don't engage in detoxification therapy so much like sauna therapy, their body doesn't get a chance on a daily basis to relax nervously, and they never detox significantly. That's such a huge thing. That goes back to us not we spend so much money on gadgets and devices, in America. And we have disposable income, and we invest very little often in our health, and yet our bodies need it. Our bodies need to relax every day.
Yeah, I mean, that's why stress kills, because when people are in that fight or flight mode, that sympathetic dominant state, you can't detox. That's not the mode in which your body detoxes, and it just
Right,
accumulates
yeah,
and
absolutely.
accumulates, and it's one of the underlying causes that why stress kills.
Yeah, when you're in sympathetic dominance, all of your blood flow and your energy goes to your muscles and your heart and your brain. None of it goes to healing or detoxification or anything else, and it is unfortunate. But again, the sauna therapy is such an easy way to activate this relaxation and promote this cellular healing. Not to mention a few other benefits. A few things that people don't traditionally associate with sauna therapy are things like weight loss.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you about that. I know that's
It's really interesting. Yeah, um, the near-infrared light actually helps promote the visible reduction of cellulite, and what that is the near-infrared light. One of the mechanisms it activates is the production of fibroblasts, proteins, or basically fibroblast growth factors, and also collagen production. So you do near-infrared lamp sauna therapy for a while, and you'll actually increase the collagen production in your body, and that helps the body heal things like cellulite, like visible cellulite. But even
that's actually the reason that I do saunas. I don't do it for the detox. I just do it to reduce cellulite.
well, why not benefit both in the way you feel and the way you look? It's great for your skin. It's great for the cellulite, but also it's interesting that we're increasingly seeing it being effective for weight loss. You're promoting blood flow to the fat tissue, to the adipose tissue, especially like the unwanted fat that's the body has a hard time metabolizing. And some of that is the body hides toxins. All these toxins we're talking about, hides it in the fat. It's an easy way to isolate it and keep it from disturbing the cells in the body. So the body doesn't want to detox that or metabolize that fat, because then it has to detox all those chemicals and all those toxins that are energy intensive and stressful for the body to detox. So interestingly, you can sit in a near-infrared lamp sauna and have effective passive weight loss. All these people are spending so much money going to the gym. They're wanting to look great, but they're also, I think, a lot of people are just trying to lose some weight, lose some unwanted weight, and yet they're not very successful because they're in sympathetic dominance and their body's not metabolizing the excess fat. It's metabolizing the more accessible energy, and at the same time, there's this alternative near-infrared lamp sauna there where you can sit lazily in your sauna, relax, and lose weight at the same time. So you're detoxing, you're healing in a very effective way, and you're addressing. You can lose weight over time. Absolutely.
How many
It's
calories?
incredible.
How many calories do you burn in a sauna during, say, a 30-minute session?
Wow, that's a good question.
There's lots of estimates. I've seen
I,
100
I
calories and 600 calories. I think 600 is a little far-fetched, but
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it definitely burns calories, but really the issue is not just the burning of energy. It's the metabolizing of the right types of energy in the body, and that's the fat. The fat, again, because of what I said before, it's for some reason the body it tries to avoid metabolizing fat for many people in many cases, and the sauna, the near infrared light has this radiant style heating effect, so it penetrates your body up to 9 inches. In fact, there's a NASA study we have posted on our website, but also is widely available, that shows that near infrared light penetrates human tissues up to 23 centimeters, which is about 9 inches. So it's going immediately going all the way into you and heating you from the inside out. So it's very efficient and immediate, and it's promoting this heating and this increased blood flow to those deep seated fats and toxins that are deep in your torso, in your body, and um, and that's very unique to near infrared. The far infrared, you mentioned before how it can turn off, in these far infrared saunas after the temperature reaches a certain level. It's not just that. Even when you're exposed to far infrared light, the far infrared light only penetrates your body a couple of inches. So really, it's more of a conductive style heating effect, a less efficient heating you from the outside in. The near infrared light bringing that blood flow to the deepest areas of your body, and it's the blood that is the liquid of life. It brings in the nutrients and it takes away the toxins. If there's no blood flow, there's no cellular healing.
Yeah, and they even used infrared saunas. One of the winners of The Biggest Loser, she used an infrared sauna to lose weight and ended up winning the show, which I thought it was really, really interesting. But I have a lot of clients that are working out 5 days a week and they're eating flawlessly. It's amazing how good these women are eating, and they're not losing weight. Their body is just not budging on releasing the fat. And I always tell them it's because you have to detox your body. You have to start using an infrared sauna because your body is not going to let go of those fat stores that's holding all these toxic chemicals. Your body doesn't have anywhere else to put it except in these fat soluble toxins. So I think for a lot of women that have stalled weight loss, infrared sauna is a great component to add to facilitate weight loss.
Yeah, absolutely. For that, and for the detox, and for the relaxation, that's what maybe people don't appreciate enough nowadays, is that you don't need to stress your body out more by going on the treadmill. The best thing you can do for your health and for your weight and for your attitude and your mood and your quality of life is to relax. Yeah. To relax in the near infrared sauna and get away from the stress.
Well, let's talk a little bit about how the light therapy helps to benefit you. And this low-level light therapy is one of the many benefits of infrared saunas, near infrared saunas, that you can't get with far infrared. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's these phototherapy benefits that are only associated with near infrared light, and the validation of that are these photoreceptors, or so-called chromophores. They're receptors on the cells and many cells in the body, in fact, a lot of cells in the body that directly absorb near infrared light, typically or particularly between like 600 and 900 or 1,000 nanometers. So that's the near infrared band of light. That's not mid infrared. That's not far infrared. That's not any other light. It's that very small range on the electromagnetic spectrum that has this unique cellular healing effect on the cells directly. And so how more obvious can it be than the fact that your body is evolutionarily designed to promote cellular healing when it's exposed to near infrared light. And you see that also, from another standpoint, you see that validated in what's called the atmospheric window, or the atmospheric absorption spectrum. If you look at a chart, and you can look this up on Wikipedia, of all the sunlight that the sun gives off, not most of it doesn't reach the Earth. There's actually only a few parts of that spectrum that reach the Earth. Some of the radio waves, the higher end radio waves, of course, all the visible light, and then within the infrared band, it's only the near infrared that has any significant penetration to the Earth. And in fact, a very significant amount, don't quote me on this, I think it's like 30% or something, but it's a very significant portion of the sunlight that reaches the Earth is near infrared. And so that makes sense. Okay, we've been running around as humans, being exposed to this near infrared light primarily for a very long time, and we've evolved to benefit from it. And so in the scientific world, they call the studies that use near infrared light treatment to promote cellular healing, it's referred to as low-level light therapy for some reason. But they've done a lot of studies, and they've studied all different types, all different wavelengths of light, including far infrared, mid infrared, and visible light. and other ultraviolet and other wavelengths. And they've shown after 40 years of studies that it's only that 600 to 950 or 1,000 nanometer band that is the magical band. That is the therapeutic band of the sunlight spectrum. And what's really cool about it is that that near-infrared lamp saunas, that incandescent near-infrared heat lamp, produces primarily near-infrared light, and it does so in it's a reflector lamp, so it's not a laser beam that's at all dangerous because it's really high powered. It very much simulates the therapeutic band of the sunlight spectrum, and yet it doesn't give you the UV. So you're not exposed to the ionizing radiation that is in ultraviolet light that people, I think, understand well can be problematic, can be carcinogenic at very high doses. So you get the healing aspect of the sunlight without any of the damaging effects of the other aspects of the sunlight.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to wrap up what or to conclude what we were saying about these studies. It's really interesting that some of these studies that they're dense, they're hard to read, but you start reading them and some of them are mind blowing. There's one, for example, that I can think of off the top of my head where they blind rats with methanol, with so-called wood alcohol, and they use repeated near-infrared light exposure treatments. And they reverse the blindness in the rats. So they promote enough cellular healing in the eyes of the rats that the blindness is reversed. And that's incredible. Not to mention that really debunks, it's a very powerful evidence for debunking this notion that that near-infrared light is damaging to your eyes, or it's dangerous. I think it's just a superficial way that far-infrared sauna and also your traditional sauna promote guys that are proponents of traditional saunas try to scare people away from the near-infrared lamp sauna. And in fact, they have it completely wrong. The near-infrared light promotes cellular healing directly. There's in so many aspects that just in general that aspect of cellular healing is shown in all these studies in various scenarios, and other ones where they irradiate mice with X-rays. We all know how damaging X-rays are, and they have very positive healing responses that occur with the near-infrared light treatment. So it's a very robust body of science that supports all of this. We're still trying to figure out exactly what all the cellular mechanisms and stuff are, but when you look at this Finnish study that heat therapy has these life extension effects, and you look at these particular studies where the near-infrared light is promoting cellular healing, I think it makes sense to bring the two together and to do near-infrared lamp sauna therapy. I mean,
so to benefit,
absolutely.
how long does someone need to use a sauna? So like how often during the week, how many days a week, and how often per session?
It's recommended that you start slowly and steady. You don't want to detox too much. You mentioned healing reactions at the beginning, and that is very much a concept that occurs in sauna therapy. You detox toxins, and when you detox them, you often experience the symptoms related to that toxin. So you don't want to overload your organs of elimination by detoxing too fast. So it's recommended to start with 20 minutes, once a day. And then as you acclimate to the therapy over a period of weeks and months, you can increase that duration really dramatically. I personally when I do near-infrared sauna, it's I'm in there probably 45 or 50 minutes. And you rotate in front of the lamps to get this nice even heating effect across all the parts of your torso. But there are absolutely people who are doing it more than that. Some people are using it twice a day for an hour a day, but usually these are individuals who are well acclimated to the sauna therapy, and they know what they're doing. It's very individual. Some people are so sensitive and so toxic they can't do it more than 5 or 10 minutes initially, and others are really gung ho and they can increase their duration pretty quickly. So,
yeah, I think there's some people that have this notion that if they don't feel well, that they should stop doing something because it's not making them feel good. But when you do a sauna, you do incite detox reactions, And these, I think, need to be very welcomed. These are the reason that you're doing the sauna. You're doing the sauna to get rid of the hundreds of chemicals that are proven by research studies to be in our bodies, and to get rid of the dozens of heavy metals that everyone, without exception, has in their tissues. And so to think that you can use a sauna and it's going to be all, all smiles, that's not the case. You do have to deal with some detox symptoms. Can you talk a little bit about what people can expect as far as detox symptoms and how they're completely normal?
Yeah, they are normal. I mean, that toxin, the heavy metal, the petrochemical, the pharmaceutical drug, they have effects on your body. And so when your body metabolizes it during detoxification, so if it's stuck in your body in a cell and your body finally accesses it via sauna therapy and begins to metabolize and detox it, and whether metabolic pathway is required for that particular toxin, you necessarily experience those symptoms. So practically speaking, people that are, when your body's detoxing pharmaceutical residues at the base of your liver, you can experience flu-like symptoms. Has definitely been reported that people who are have used hallucinogenic drugs in their life, and at the point at which they begin to detox those drugs, they can actually experience hallucinogenic episodes. Some people also, there's a very emotional component to it. So it's interesting, and this is related to, this is a whole other discussion about the neurology of it and the brain science of it, and the fact that when you incorporate toxins, they're almost associated with a certain memory and a certain experience. And if that was traumatic for you, often when people detox that toxin, they'll experience that trauma all over again to some degree. Some people report that they just start crying all of a sudden for no apparent reason, and then it passes after a day or so, and that was that painful episode, or that traumatic episode that they experienced whilst incorporating that toxin. So it's a very visceral thing. It's a very real thing, but it's also I think it's a very redeeming experience. It's sort of the battlefield that you go through, and you can imagine if those are the symptoms you experience when you're detoxing, imagine what it's doing to your body while it's still in there. So
Yeah.
Those are all, that healing experiences and those bumps in the road, those are all badges of honor, and are well worth it. Most people, even with those, in between those healing reactions, for the majority of the time when people are doing sauna therapy, they come out and they feel rejuvenated. They feel powered up. They feel relaxed. The near infrared light actually has this calming effect on the nervous system, and it gives you this sort of zen feeling when you get out of near infrared lamp sauna. It's really unique.
Yeah, and definitely, I don't detox every time I'm in the sauna. When I first started using it, I felt like I was having a lot of detox symptoms like headaches and nausea and fatigue and things like that. Not a big deal, nothing you can't handle. But as and not every single time would I have detox symptoms. Even today, when I'm using it, I still have some detox symptoms sometimes. But for the most part, I feel really, really good and relaxed after I use them. And can you talk a little bit about how detoxing an infrared sauna and through your skin can take a lot of the burden off the liver? Because I think today many people's livers are very overloaded with toxins, medications, and drugs. The liver has to do so much work, and there's so many chemicals that it just doesn't recognize. It's not able to detox. And 30% of the Americans have fatty liver disease because their livers are so congested. Can you talk a little bit about how sweating out these toxins is kind of gives the liver a helping hand?
Yeah, people don't think necessarily about their skin as an organ, but it is the largest organ in the body, and it is absolutely designed to be a powerful organ of detoxification. You're right. Humans are very resilient. Of all the creatures on the earth, we have the greatest perseverance. We can take the most beating for the longest time, but there's a point at which it's too much, and today it is too much. There's so many toxins we're exposed to. We're just not designed to detox this toxic load that we're exposed to every day, and so it builds up, and the body typically relies on its liver, and the livers are overloaded, and so are the kidneys. Um, and the because we're in sympathetic dominance, the using and typically people have lower body temperature as well. All things that reduce the natural sweat response means that we're not really using our biggest organ of detoxification effectively or daily at all. So it's totally shut down. That's what sauna therapy does. It activates the organs of elimination, but particularly the skin. It does take it gives the liver and the kidneys a chance to rest, and the sweating or detoxification via the sweat is one of the most effective and quick ways to rid the body of toxins. And then again, that goes back to us being able to relax. And when I say relax, it's not just a mental thing. It's a physiological thing in your body. Your liver needs to relax. You just hit the nail on the head. The liver, everybody's so overloaded. So when you get in a sauna and you give that liver and the kidneys a break, they're also working to detox during sauna therapy when you relax into parasympathetic dominance. But yeah, you're taking a load off your body in so many ways, not just the toxins, but giving it a chance to just rest. It's not just about getting rid of the toxins in the body. It's also about repairing the damage the toxins caused.
Yes.
In the cells, in the tissues, and it's all very energy intensive. So yeah, so activating your body and activating your skin as a detoxification organ is the essence of sauna therapy.
Yeah, I've had client after client tell me that after they start sauna use, their skin gets really, really soft. I noticed with my hoof heels, they got, they were like really, really tough before, and they got really, really soft. It's really amazing how much it improves your skin as well.
Yeah, and that's interesting too. That the afflictions of the skin are the most obvious signs of a really deep toxicity. If your skin looks bad, you definitely have some really deep toxicities, to such an extent that your body's own its own cellular healing and its own systems of healing are so broken down that it can't even take care of basic toxin loads and basic factors that result in skin conditions like eczema, like acne, like psoriasis, all these things that are not typically associated with the human body. It's totally a product of modern civilization and the modern toxic age. You just don't see this in the Stone Age cultures that still exist in the world today, in the Amazon and such. It's very much a modern thing. It's too bad, but that's what we have to deal with in modern life. Are we gonna galvanize ourselves against this, or are we gonna accept that we're just not gonna have healthy, enjoyable lives with a good quality of life, or we're gonna say yes, we're gonna fight against this, and we're gonna use all the means at our disposal, and the best thing ever is, or one of the best things ever, I should say, is near-infrared lamp sauna therapy. It's so effective, and in fact, that's one of the first things people see improvement with, typically in sauna therapy, is their skin, and that's cool. I mean, it's more important to detox the deep set toxins. It's more important that your vital organs be working optimally in general, but I think seeing that immediate or that quick boost to the skin's health, the skin's complexion, I think that's inspiring to people and helps them along, because sauna therapy does take time. You need to be disciplined. Yeah. You need to get your own at home, and you need to be using it, on at least a several times a week basis, if not daily, for a period of weeks and months, and that's when it becomes really effective.
Yeah, when I first started sauna therapy, I just put off getting one in my home because of the expense and whatnot. So I decided to go to a spa. There's many spas that they only have the far infrared saunas. I've never seen a near infrared at a facility. And I would go a couple times a week, but it's just not practical. It's very expensive. It's $30 to $50 per session if you go to somewhere else. And you can't do it every day. When you need to do it, I think, at least 5 days a week. And so I just really recommend that people get one in their home. You will not regret it. So, Bryan, can you talk a little bit about the different models that you have available at Sauna Space?
Yeah, they're all part of our Pocket Sauna product line. It's a lightweight, portable sauna that features tool-free assembly, natural material construction, American build quality, a solid 3-year warranty, all these wonderful things. But beyond that, we have a really wide range of, of different options to provide sauna access to the widest range of individuals and situations possible. Our lower end, our most modest sauna is a 3 lamp light panel in pine with our standard plastic frame and our dual layer cotton canvas cover. It's only $693 right now, so it's always going to be like that. It's under $700. You have a one-time purchase, and you have access to a very pleasing near infrared lamp sauna experience for the rest of your life, really, if you take care of the product. Um, and and that configuration, for example, excludes the stool that we offer, which is optional because our light panels adjust up and down on the frame pole. So you can use any chair or stool you have at home and adjust it to your height and your seat preference. Um, and not to mention that the reason we offer a lot of configurations is that our product is very much in development still. We're constantly trying to improve it, and the model that we have now has undergone an incredible amount of product development. So our most modest offering is also our base model. It's the first thing we offered. Now we offer a few different options. For example, we have this poplar wood sauna frame. And we also have poplar wood light panel options. We introduced the poplar wood because if you're familiar with the sauna industry, it is the go-to sauna wood. It's a hypoallergenic wood. That means it's 0 VOC rated. So it is the ideal candidate for individuals who have chemical sensitivity issues. They're not going to have that with poplar. Beyond that, it's a very stable wood, and our poplar in particular is sustainably harvested in North America. So it's a very ecological wood as well. From that most modest offering, we have a variety of light panels and a couple sauna frames and 2 sauna stools. Um,
And you have
that,
three bulb and 4 bulb units as well.
right, and also we have 3 and 4 bulb. Again, the first model was a 3 lamp near infrared light panel, but now we do offer a 4 lamp light panel that has a 4th lamp wired to a separate switch. So it just has that convenience of functioning like the 3 lamp light panel, or having that 4th bulb, which is extra heat. It's more near infrared light, so it's a little bit more effective sauna therapy, a quicker preheating time. And because it has that convenience, if it's too hot or you don't want to use it, you can turn it off.
Yeah.
So we offer our poplar frame now, and then originally when we were selling our first pocket sauna model didn't include a stool. That was before we had or that was right when right after we got our robotic milling machine, and we started getting our heads wrapped around it. And first we had the light panel, and then we began prototyping the stool, and it took about a month and a half, and we came up with this really cool design, and it was actually a team effort. Absolutely, the entire Sauna Space team was involved, and it's this cool tool, this stool that I don't think I have one. I don't know if I have one here in the office. No, I don't think I have one ready. I think they're all boxed up, but you can see them on our website. They're 2 leg panels that click together like this, and the 2 legs tuck up into the seat plate that has a 3D contour top, so it's really comfortable for your butt. And it has that kind of old school heirloom quality furniture feel and assembly to it. It sets up in a few seconds, and of course we offered it initially in our pine, and then as we expanded, we began to make it in poplar, and nowadays we we still offer the entire range to give many people as possible access to near infrared lamp sauna therapy, but certainly most people are buying what we call our hypoallergenic selection. So it's a poplar wood sauna frame, a poplar wood 3 lamp light panel, a poplar wood stool, And our latest product is our new bamboo floor mat. It's really cool. It really completes the sauna in the sense that it seals off the sauna space. It allows you to install the pocket sauna right on carpet, for example, or on really nice hardwood flooring, whatever you have, and you're not going to have to worry about either the outgassing from the flooring or damage to your flooring because because of your sweat. Sauna sweats, it's odorous and it's toxic. You definitely want to collect that in towels and be washing the towels, but the bamboo mat, it just completes the experience. So that's actually unvarnished bamboo and 100% raw cotton backing. It was really difficult for us to source this material, but we finally figured it out and we got it. And so now with the mat, indeed, most people order that because that really is a turnkey product. You don't need to buy anything else. You pull
Oh wait,
this
we
out
have a stool right here.
Oh hey, well, looks
We
like
have
we
a
did.
stool right here.
There
Yeah,
you
let's
go.
see that. Yeah, it's kind of that old school tongue and groove.
Yeah, exactly. This is Tony, our production manager. I didn't realize he was still here, but yeah, it just clicks together basically the top and the sides, and then and that's it, and that's it. There's no hardware, there's no tools. It's a really cool design. It's really cool, really comfortable. So yeah, so we offer this wide range, but certainly most people buy the hypoallergenic selection because it's just everything all in one. You get this, you order online with us, and we process and we ship that out the next day or so, and you have it in a couple of days ground shipping, and you pull it out of the box, and in 10 minutes or less, that thing is set up and you're flicking the lights on and you're trying out the sauna for your first time, and it's just so quick and easy to use. And with the stool, you don't even have to provide a chair. It's really turnkey with that.
Well, Bryan,
Go ahead.
thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. I love your saunas. I love your products. And that's why they're one of the only brands that I carry in my store. I think it's such a high quality sauna, and I think that it's something that everyone should get in their home for use.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, it's the most effective because it's in your house, but it's really nice to have it at home. It's hygienic. It's your sauna. You're not getting in a sauna that hundreds of other people are using. It's clean. It's dry. You get out of the sauna, you feel great. You take a shower in your own shower, and you have the near infrared light and all of it. Even our most our highest end offering is less than $1,200. That's less than half or even a third of some of these very expensive far infrared and traditional wet saunas. So I think it's something that's very accessible to people, and that's what we're all about. We're about balancing that quality and that user experience with reality, that things need to be affordable. And this is the first sauna that has all these benefits and all this awesome user friendly experience, and it really is at a consumer price point. So yeah, check us out, saunaspace.com. Everything's on there. You can read about our story and what we offer, and we're based right here in Missouri. We're a small team of guys that really love what we do, and we hope to see you. We hope you choose us.
Well, thank you so much, Bryan. Again, I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you, Wendy. I appreciate the invitation.
And listeners, if you want to learn all about detoxification and how to live a long, healthy life, go to my website, live to110.com. And thank you so much for listening to the Live to 110 podcast. Well, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about you and how you became a diabetes coach?
Right. So interesting story, I guess. Not much of a personal story for me. I never had diabetes, although I did struggle at one point with a little bit of high blood sugar, ironically, after I was already helping people with diabetes, which I'll tell you about in a second. But I think for me, it's more of a professional passion. It's something that I kind of stumbled into. I had many patients coming in practice with diabetes, and they were just very frustrated with the current medical approach, with the standard of care they were getting, which is mainly just drugs, with very little advice. The advice that they were getting from their dietitians and diabetes educators at the time was just the standard stuff from the ADA, which is a high carbohydrate diet. Doesn't really make any difference. The quality of food, sugar is sugar, that type of thing. And I just knew that that was wrong. It was just it wasn't right, and it wasn't working for them. So I did a lot of research at that time. We're going back 15 years, but did a lot of research at that time, trying to really figure out, because I just knew that there was a better way. So I tried to figure out what can we do to help these people more, thinking that it was going to be all about diet and exercise, which that is a large part of it, but it was like Pandora's box. I mean, just so much information about what causes blood sugar to go up and how to really handle it, and just became really interested in it. And then I think the ultimate is when you get results. You know, when you're working with somebody and they actually get better and they're able to get off of medications, and many of them reverse their condition, the thank yous, the excitement, the joy, seeing the blood sugar changes, that just becomes very almost addictive and exciting. So it was just more of a professional passion that originally led me into working with people with diabetes. Just to finish the story that I mentioned a second ago, years later, I had gone through a business transition, broke up a partnership, was under a lot of stress, working too many hours, took a lot of burden onto myself, and really let my health slip. I gained like 30 pounds or more, I think, at that time, and started having night sweats, and eventually I took out my blood pressure cuff and checked my blood pressure, and my blood pressure was like 170 something over 94, something like that, really high. And my blood sugar at that point was, I was pre-diabetic. My blood sugar was over 110, fasting, and sort of had a wake-up call at that time. So that's about my only personal experience, and fortunately was able to turn things around and get healthy again.
Yeah. What did you do to turn it around?